This is the MMA Brief Podcast, recapping the world of mixed martial arts every single week, with your host, Brandon Johansson.
Episode 21, I'm back from Nashville, Tennessee. UFC Fight Night 108, had an amazing time. Wednesday, I went down to Zany's in Nashville, saw The Fighter and the Kid, Brendan Schaub, Brian Callen. Awesome comedy show, laughed my ass off. Got to talk with both of them afterwards. Incredible experience. Thursday morning, I went to the open workouts in Nashville at the Bridgestone Arena. Incredible experience, just the first day and a half I was down in Nashville. On Friday, no ceremonial weigh-ins. Usually the UFC does two separate weigh-ins. There's 9 o'clock weigh-ins, which is official, and then they redo it at 4 o'clock roughly so fans can view it. They didn't have that in Nashville. They just had the 9 o'clock official weigh-ins, and it was closed to the public. So Friday, there was no fan experience, essentially. No big deal. I found things to do around the area. Saturday, of course, fight night, which was epic. 12 rows from the cage. Gotta be honest, being right there, so close to the cage, it was really surreal. Time was going by, fights were passing, and it was like, oh my god, I can't even believe I'm here. And the one criticism I have for the amount of money I paid for the tickets, even though I was 12 rows away, when the fight hit the ground in certain parts of the octagon, I couldn't really see the action. I had to refer back up to the TV. Fight would end up back on their feet, and then I'd get stuck watching the TV and like, oh shit, I'm here. It was awesome. First fight, Matt Danger Schnell versus Hector Sandoval. 125-pound matchup. Matt Danger Schnell, the former Legacy Fighting 125-pound champion, was in the flyweight season of The Ultimate Fighter. Ended up overcommitting on a guillotine choke. Standing. Went for it hard. The fight ended up going to the ground. Hector Sandoval worked out of the choke, hit him with several vicious short hammer fists, knocked him out. Actually missed the finish. It happened so quickly, I had to see it on the big screen, but huge win for Hector Sandoval. In the next fight, Brian Barberena TKO'd Joe Proctor in the first round. Joe Proctor ended up getting stunned with a punch, and Brian Barberena followed up with knees and punches against the cage, TKO. Brian Barberena improves to 4-2 overall in his UFC career. Brandon Moreno became the first man to stop Dustin Ortiz, a matchup of the number 9 and number 10 flyweights in the UFC. Dustin Ortiz immediately imposed a grinding style, looking for takedowns against the fence, trying to get the fight to the floor. Brandon Moreno is very slippery. Even when Dustin Ortiz got the takedown, he popped back up to his feet. In the second round, Brandon Moreno was able to stun Dustin Ortiz with a head kick that face-planted Dustin Ortiz, took his back, secured a body triangle, and eventually was able to choke out Dustin Ortiz. Impressive win for Brandon Moreno, who improves to 3-0 in the UFC. In the feature bout of the prelims, which appeared on Fox Sports 2, Talis Slatis defeated Smilin' Sam Alvey by unanimous decision. I rewatched the fight when I got home. The first 5 seconds, Talis Slatis throws an inside leg kick that hurts Sam Alvey very badly. Wobbles him, backs him up against the cage. Talis Slatis throws 2 head kicks, partially blocked by Sam Alvey. And it changed the whole fight, the first 5 seconds. Talis Slatis got the win in the middleweight contest by unanimous decision. On the first fight of the main card, Platinum Mike Perry knocked out Jake the Juggernaut Ellenberger. I predicted this was going to be a violent contest last week, and in fact it was the most violent. I thought that Jake Ellenberger needed to stay out of boxing range with Mike Perry, which he did for a while, but once the fight got in close, Mike Perry was able to sneak a right elbow over the top, knock Jake Ellenberger instantly unconscious, left him unresponsive for several minutes. Mike Perry put an exclamation point on that contest and also won $50,000 performance of the night. In a pivotal bantamweight matchup, John the Magician Dodson defeated Eddie Wineland by unanimous decision. Fans were quite upset at this contest. Being in the arena, I felt that a majority of the fans were uneducated, truly, to martial arts. They weren't real fans. They more of just bleed. They just want to see a knockout or someone get messed up. They were booing after the decision was read. They were booing after the fight was over. In fact, I didn't think it was a horrible fight. They kind of stayed on the outside and jolted in. They never really got in the pocket and traded. I think everyone was really disappointed about that. But at the end of the fight, Eddie Wineland was cut in several spots on his face. John Dodson looked like he wasn't in a fight. And he won. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the whole card. But point is, fans, slightly uneducated in Nashville. Next time I go to a fight, it's definitely going to be in Vegas. Ovin St. Peru choked out Marcos Rogerio de Lima by Von Flue choke. Second time he's pulled off this very rare shoulder choke. I called it the whole time. I said he's looking for it. Don't go for a guillotine when you're on your back in half guard against Ovin St. Peru. He's got this shoulder choke, and it's the second time he pulled it off. Not the Von Flue choke, but the St. Peru choke. Very impressive finish for Ovin St. Peru, who also found himself earning an extra $50,000 for a performance of the night. In the co-main event, Ragin' Al Iaquinta became the first man to knock out Diego the Lionheart Sanchez in the first round. A pair of lethal right hands put Diego away. The first one dropped him. He popped back up. You saw the fighter spirit we've all come to love from Diego. Al snuck in, right hand from hell. Straight right down the pipe, folded up Diego. Big John McCarthy called an end to the action. Huge win for Ragin' Al Iaquinta, who has been gone for 2 years, selling houses. And a lot of people, after the knockout loss, have been calling for Diego to retire. He has this message for the haters. It's kind of long.
This is a heartfelt message for all the supporters of what I do, but more importantly what I stand for as a athlete, a man and warrior of the octagon. After evaluating the situation with a clear mind, I have two options. The first is to feel sorry for myself, start doubting myself, God and everything that makes me a winner. Thinking negative like many people would, and even are the people that are not in my shoes, the people who have no clue and just are so fast to throw out retirement and this and that. You're not mean. So just shut your mouth right now before even saying it. It's not yours to say. I speak from the heart and do not sugarcoat shit. So there's that path, the quitter's path. Or there is the Diego path. What being a Lionheart is all about. It's about picking yourself up when you fall, learning how you fell and how to prevent it from happening again. This was the first KO of my career. Some fighters experience it more than ounce in over a decade of fighting. The very best UFC has put in front of a man. Losing is a part of this sport. I choose to believe in my God-given abilities and hard work and talent. I choose to believe in my dream. I am confident. I am experienced. I am still very healthy, young for my physical age, and more driven and hungry for success than ever. So I choose to continue to roar like a lion for the Lord Jesus and do what I do, and that's fight on. To all my fans and friends that believe in me, I love you guys. To all my family that loves me and has their concerns, let me assure you I have been tested at the best facilities in the world. My cognitive health is the same, if not better, than it's ever been. I'm sharp, sober-minded and extremely healthy, so I know it hurts to see a warrior you love fall, but it's part of it. And when I am no longer able to compete with the best fighters in the world, I will look to what is next. As for now, a beast that got caught with a perfect shot in all good, and will be back with adjustments that will prevent that from ever happening again. So today I thank God I was not injured in the fight. I still have the iron jaw and a lion heart and a sober mind. You doubters, you gonna doubt, it's what do.
Had an amazing time in Nashville. Was able to meet Brian Callen, Brendan Schaub, Brian Stan, Artem Lobov, Aljamain Sterling, Al Iaquinta, Cub Swanson, Diego Sanchez. It was an incredible experience. Everyone was incredibly nice. These killers are all really great people deep down. I had an amazing time watching these people perform. I know that Diego's going to be back. I know that Cub is going to be fighting for the title someday. I knew this was going to be an electric card. So come back next week. We're going to be previewing UFC 211 from Dallas, which features 2 title fights. The heavyweight title's on the line. Joanna Jędrzejczyk's fighting Jessica Andrade for the women's strawweight title. Jorge Masvidal, Damian Maia. Yair Rodriguez versus Frankie Edgar. It's going to be amazing. Peace.